So one of the things that's had me really excited about getting my garage cleared out finally is that I can work on cars with space, that I can work on cars and have room to move my jack around. So today I'm working on my MQB Volkswagen Tiguan. This is my family baby hauler, if you will. It is in need of an oil change, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Now, this has to be, of all my cars, my favorite oil change because it is the easiest oil change you will ever do. And I'm serious about that. There's no wrenches or sockets required except for an adjustable or open-ended wrench just for the filter housing. Other than that, like, there's no undoing the drain bolt with any kind of tooling, you know, threading in or whatever. It's just kind of like got an O-ring on it and you stick a flathead in and take it out. It's super simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I do that. And like I said, easiest oil change humanly imaginable. I absolutely love it. Normally when people talk about German cars, they talk about how complicated they are to work on, what a nightmare they are, all the electronics, etc. But at least when it comes to this oil change, it has to be the easiest car I've ever worked on. So first couple steps, just like any other car, first thing you want to do is take off this oil cap, right? But there's another step, which is we want to pull off this engine cover. This just pops off. There we go. All right, so there you can see I've got the oil cap out, which is going to let air pressure help to force oil out of the motor. And here's our filter housing, which we'll just take off with an adjustable or open-ended wrench. Now I'm going to go on the bottom and I'll take out the oil drain bolt. But first let me show you everything that I'm using in order to do this oil change. So here's everything that I'm using, and it's not a lot of stuff. I've got 6 quarts of oil from Liquid Moly. So what I did is I ordered an oil change kit from FCP Euro. It's possibly the easiest way to do this because if you gotta go find the right oil and the right filter at the auto parts, sometimes it's a nightmare. Like the first time I did an oil change on this car, I had to go to different auto parts to finally find the right filter and then the right oil type. You can just order the kit from these guys and they'll send you a brand new filter, the oil, and a brand new oil drain plug, which you wouldn't get if you just went and did this at the auto parts. So that's a nice, you know, kind of thing. It's that little bag next to the blue box for the filter. I've also got my oil drain pan, of course. I've got an adjustable wrench and a flathead screwdriver. That flathead screwdriver, you just pop it into the oil drain bolt and twist it out, and the oil drains. It is the easiest thing humanly imaginable. Now, I do have my Tiguan jacked up. That's to make it easier for me to get up under there and hopefully be able to film that part. You may not have to do this. If you're a slimmer guy like I am, you can probably just slide up under there and do it. Obviously it's going to be more comfortable if it's jacked up, and if you needed to film, obviously it has to be jacked up. You're not going to get up under there with a camera and everything and do it otherwise. So, alright, let's go ahead and get that part going with the oil drain bolt. Alright, so I've slid up under my Tiguan here, and this is the oil drain pan. It's got this honeycomb shape. You'll see this like sensor and this cable, and this right here is your oil drain plug. So all you got to do is take a flathead screwdriver, pop it into that guy, turn it, and your oil will start to come out. Alright, so I've got the flathead in it, and turn it counterclockwise until it pops out, and shazam, there you go. There's the oil flowing out, and it's just that simple. No wrench, no socket, just simplicity. It's beautiful. So like I said before, all you're going to need in this part is an adjustable wrench. So put that on and just loosen this. Start turning out my hand. Take a mechanic's rag and have it ready. Alright, so let that do its thing. And you'll hear a little bit of oil drain as that happens. So we'll go ahead, take our brand new oil filter. It's gonna go in there. And that comes with a brand new O-ring, which is going to replace the O-ring that's out here. So first things first, take my mechanic's rag here, lay it off to the side, pull out this old filter, bang, put this new filter in there. And that's that. You could take a rag and kind of clear out some of that excess oil. I'm going to do that now. Just to clean it up. Oil is looking pretty ugly, so let's go ahead and take out that O-ring. So I want to say I usually just take like a little flathead or something and pry that out. You could use like a little pick tool and then use this little nail. Get up under it. Once you got it out of where it seats, it should just roll out pretty easy. That's that. You could obviously do that before or after switching the filter. It's got our new O-ring here, and just gonna lubricate that with some oil. Every time you change your filter, you'll be changing out this O-ring, because it comes with it. And try to sit it down in the groove it goes in, and then just tug it all the way around, and that's that. It's mounted. You got the brand new filter. Clean up a little bit inside this housing to get rid of some of that old oil that's in there. That looks much better. Let's set this down. And tighten that by hand until it's snug, and then finish snugging it in with the wrench. Alright, that's that. Take the wrench. Tighten it a little bit more. Don't go crazy cranking on this thing either though, you just want it kind of like nice, snug. The point is to compress that O-ring so that it seals, not to like crush stuff. There it goes. That's funny. I usually take my old oil filter, wrap it up in a rag, and then tuck it in the box that the new one came in. These I will take over to a quick lube place that they take these, and your old oil, you deposit it there. Right, so I really quickly took my brand new oil drain plug and lubricated the O-ring on it with new oil and went ahead and reinstalled it. I didn't film that for obvious reasons. It's very difficult. And two, you guys already saw me take out the other one. Installation is quite literally the reverse of removal, right? So you would just pop it in with a flathead screwdriver. Make sure you seat it down all the way. It's like a little tab on it that you can see, and it'll align to a little tab on the oil pan. You'll see what I'm talking about when you do it. It's not really hard to figure out. So at this point, all that's left is to put in the 6 quarts of oil that this thing takes. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring in my liquid moly. So let's go ahead and do this. You could just not use a funnel, and I think for the small bottle I may get away with that, but I'll just hold this in place and do it. It's much better this way. The stuff from Liquid Moly is pretty cool because it's got like a greenish tint to it. Bluish, greenish. Alright, so there's my first quart. I really hate the way that this is because you can't sit this in there. You would need like a thinner snout funnel. It's kind of whatever, so I end up holding it very, very good at flowing oil out of a bottle, you can probably do it without any kind of funnel, but for most of us, I don't recommend it. So this big bottle has a funny nose to it. I guess makes it a little easier to pour and not make a disaster. It's pretty cool. I don't like it. It really doesn't flow smooth. I'd rather a normal snout. I'm sure someone thought this would have been a great idea, but it's actually not. It's really just a nightmare for no reason. The oil would flow so much more smoothly if it weren't for that goofy head. Alright, so kind of lean that on the gas strut, let it drip down, and I'll put my oil cap back on in a little bit, and that'll be that. A little bit of quick cleaning. Put my oil cap back in. And that's it. You're done with the mechanical portion of this oil change. And I say the mechanical portion because there's an electronic portion left, and that is just to update the oil change interval inside the gauge cluster. So now I'll show you guys how to do that inside the car. Okay, so I lied. There was one small part of the mechanical aspect of this left. That was simply to just replace this cover. That's that. Covers on. Alright, so you'll probably notice that my gauge cluster is all fogged up. That's from this kid that washed the car, and I think he had armor on, a towel he used to wipe the gauges, and that's how he did that. I'll make another video to show you guys how I get rid of that. So let's just go ahead and do the following. I'm going to hold down this OO button, right? And then I'm going to push the engine start stop button. Then release it, hit it again. The service interval was reset. Boom. You gotta kind of do it a little quickly or else it won't do what you think it will. But that's that. Apparently you have to check the pressure in my front left tire too. Alright, but we reset that so the car's ready to rock. So there you have it. That's how you do the oil change on the Tiguan. Pretty straightforward, as I said. It's like nothing crazy. I'm gonna be doing a couple, you know, small mods to it moving along just to make it a little bit more fun to drive. I'm not planning to make big power out of my family hauler, but I would like for it to be a little bit more responsive. So there's a couple things I'm going to do and a couple parts I'm going to throw at it in order to get it there, and I'll be doing that, you know, over the course of a few videos. I just got to order some parts and get them in, and then I'll show you guys what exactly I'm planning to do and how to do it. So if you're interested in doing something like that to yours, you can do the same thing. So if you have a Tiguan, or you just generally like auto mechanics videos, you like this, you want to see more like it, I will be doing a lot more stuff like this because I do it all the time. So feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, etc. If you have any feedback or questions, feel free to leave that in the comment section. And as always, thank you guys so very much for watching.